Hey guys, Sovietdeath here. It is finally the end of April and the start of May, and yeah, it's kind of been a week. I've been sick. I've been actually wanting to do this video for the last few days, but it's actually been a blessing and a curse at the same time. Um, Basically, this is a video series, hopefully a video series I'm trying to get going, where essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to rate how the previous month for World of Tanks has been for console, and then do the preview for the next month and give you my initial thoughts. Now, going into last month, we had, we had the HMH tanks come out, which they're kind of shaky. Some good things about them, some bad things about them. Personally, I thought they were okay, but they were definitely on the more expensive side of things, and that's never a good thing in my opinion. But hey, they were fun. I'm actually really liking the 305 after they gave it a minor buff to its pen. They still need to give that thing a traverse buff, though, because that thing is just so slow to turn. It's hard to even drive it into some locations. I mean, it's an artillery, it doesn't have to be that mobile, but considering that it's essentially a Burt, it should be mobile. It's a small, little, basically off of a light tank body. It should be mobile. Okay. Going into later in the month, we had two on-tracks. On-tracks are great. I love them. They should do them at the same time, though, not separate. Because then you start getting into the first part of the month, it was all French light tanks. French light tanks everywhere. And then later on in the month, you had Borsigs, Waffentraggers, all the TDs everywhere. It's like they need to find a way to balance that out a little bit. Instead of doing an on-track for a certain tank line, what they probably should do is just do a nation. That way people can play what they want, help balance out the matchmaker a little bit, because then you'd have at least a more even mix of tanks. But that's just personal opinion. And they would probably have to nerf some of the deals that they usually do for these things then, and then people might not like it so much, but it goes. And then this weekend we had ranked battles. Now, ranked battles. Two things I have to say about that. One, they need to work out their point system a little bit more still. Once you get up to the higher ranks, you don't really get any personal points anymore, and the personal points are what's supposed to help you balance out your losses. And basically you had to win 3 times and not lose, because otherwise you just lose all your progress. It's like, yeah, they need to work that out a little bit. I think they should reduce the point loss on losses and just have it like a flat loss rate instead of it being a ranking based thing. I mean, some people might argue against me on that, but personally I think you should lose less points than you would gain. Okay. Other than that, I got up to platinum, and I did start in silver and worked my way all the way up gold. The games, if they take less of the advantage of winning, right now you had to win matches in order to get points. You couldn't gain points if you lost, and it's like that does encourage winning, but there was still a lot of people that were basically just playing it as tier 8 random battles, and I have good matchmaking. And you can tell the people that were playing it to play it like that instead of playing it to actually win for the ranked battles. And it was kind of depressing. But that's how it goes sometimes. I mean, people will do it one way, people will do it another. People will play the game the way they want. It's a game. It happens. And I think that pretty much covers the previous month. I mean, early April they had, you know, their April Fool's event. That was fun. It was usual. It's April Fool's. It's one of those things. It's a fun little mode. That's about it. Okay, now we gotta go into this month. So I'm gonna start with the preview news that they put up, which is the American Heroes overview for the month. Let me flip over to here so we can see what's going on. Basically, they're running this as a military appreciation month in May, which makes sense. I mean, you have the holiday coming up at the end of the month for at least the US. I don't know if everybody else has similar holidays at this time, but that's how it goes. Okay. Okay. Now, they're apparently having a American Dream Machines Earn Op running throughout the month. And we will cover this a little bit more in detail because they have a more detailed release already up. I actually have it right here, so we will get to that. But basically, it's an ability to earn multiple premium tanks, and even some, if you don't want to earn the premium tanks, you can earn a whole crap ton of silver. And it's just by playing the game. So it's definitely no problems with this app. I like it, I like the idea for it, and I don't think anyone will have an issue with it. I mean, some people might have an issue with it because, you know, that's how people are, but personally, I don't see anything wrong with it. Okay. Now, this one, well, people will have a problem with. They're coming out with the Vengeance T25, which is, obviously, it's a T25 pilot with colored paint schemes and everything. And I think I actually had, okay, I do have the vehicle spotlight up for that. I like the idea of the tank, but I have a feeling I am not going to like the price, and I know I do not like the grinning skull on the rear of the tank. I just don't like the look of it. I like the look of the tank otherwise. Take off that skull and I am a very happy camper. So I'm not going to really get into too much of that until we get further along, but then they have some nice military appreciation XP events and emblems for VE Day, Memorial Day, and they're offering special emblems for a limited time. Solid. People have been asking for it for a while. And then they're having the Valor charity event and their emblem for 100% of the net proceeds going to the National Military Family Association. Just to clarify, guys, the net earnings is anything that Wargaming would make on these emblems. Obviously, Microsoft, Sony, they all can get their own cut. It's not something that Wargaming can really do anything about. So it's anything that Wargaming would get is what's going towards this. So if you guys want to pick up the emblem as a charity event, great. If you just want to donate directly to the charity, the link is right there. So just go hit it, go donate. Good. Okay. Pain God's picks for the month for special premium tanks is the Mutant 6 and the M4A2E4 Sherman. The Mutant, solid tank. Basically, think of an M6 with armor and steroids, and that's about what you got with the Mutant. It's decent. Does have a couple of glaring weak spots, but other than that, it's a pretty solid tank. Now, the Sherman, well, it's a Sherman with preferential matchmaking and the stock gun. It's decent, but unless you enjoy playing Shermans, I highly don't recommend this tank. Because you got to enjoy Sherman and understand how that stock gun can affect you. It's not a great gun, but it's not a bad gun. It's one of those ones. Alright. The Huntsman Centurion, which is part of the HMH collection, is coming out. Personally, I like the look of this thing. I do like the desert camo, but I do understand why some people are kind of miffed, because it's a more modern camo instead of a actual period camo for the time. I mean, I would love the period camo, and I'm expecting this thing to probably be a little bit expensive anyway, so hopefully, since this is coming out as an HMH, maybe we will get a standard version in the future, and it'll be a little bit cheaper, because I'm expecting this to at least be like, 1,000, 2,000 extra gold compared to everything else, because the emblems and the paint scheme for all season. I don't know how much they add to that. I know it's a bit. I'm guessing probably about 1,000 is just the camo, so it's one of those things. And they're adding some new emblems. If you like emblems, that's your thing. If you don't like emblems, you don't need to spend money on emblems. I mean, the only ones I ever get are the ones that you can either earn or the ones for, like, military charities or that type of thing. Except I do have on my Burt Grim Reaper because it was fun, and that Burt is a little Grim Reaper. Okay, and other store items coming to the month. The Stug 4. It's a Stug 4. It's okay. It's pretty basic. The Pender 4 Hydrostat, which is probably one of my favorite tier 5 tanks, because it just works well for me. I mean, it has preferential matchmaking, which kind of helps it out. But I just like the way that thing performs for me. I've got a few really nice games in that. And the ISU 122S, which is just a standard, pretty good tier 7 tank destroyer. It's not, the other tier 7 tank destroyer, which is just as good, if not better, but it's solid. It's actually more accurate, I think, but it's not bad. I enjoy it. Alright, and of course, all information this month is subject to change, because, well, that's what Wargaming does in case something goes wrong. Okay, so overview is done. Let's start breaking other things down, because they have a whole bunch of stuff this month. Okay, now we're going to go to the Vengeance Spotlight. They have a nice little video if you want to watch it. I'm not going to worry about it. Like I said, I actually really like the thing, except for that skull on the back, which I don't know if... Do they have other pictures that actually show the skull? Because I know it's there. Yeah. I think this thing is absolutely ugly. I do not like this skull at all. Remove that skull and I would enjoy the look of this tank. I mean, this looks great. I mean, it's a nice tank, nice color scheme. I mean, I don't know if it really needs the whole red, white, and blue eagle. It just looks great otherwise. Especially because the eagle's head is like a little deformed on that piece of metal that comes up. And that skull. Just get rid of that skull, please. Please get rid of that skull. But yeah, it's, let's see, the base bundle for it, which is coming out May 22nd, because obviously people care about the base bundle more than the other bundles most of the time, is 10,000 gold. It is still 10,000 gold for a tier 8. It's definitely a little bit of pain on the wallet. Especially because the loaded bundle, which adds a whole bunch of stuff for just 500 gold extra, is probably more worthwhile. But even then, I mean, it's just one of those. Unless you really want a tier 8 T20, which is essentially what this thing is, I'll leave it up to you guys. But personally, I am not getting this one unless by some other reason I come into extra gold than I wasn't planning on having. So I'm gonna wait for the T25 pilot. Unless they get rid of that skull. Get rid of that skull and I'll buy it. Alright. Let's clear off this one. Okay. They are bringing back the Girls on Panzer. Well, the Panzer IV Girls on Panzer, which I really hope that they actually change the name that's in here, because honestly, it shouldn't be called the Girls on Panzer. There's a huge debate in the forum somewhere about wanting to get this thing changed, but until that ever happens, it's the Girls on Panzer, and it really shouldn't be. But that I digress here. This was only available at first on PS4 through the Asian offices, and it was a earn op really early on. Since then, it originally was just a premium tank with no bonuses, which is kind of crappy. So this time around, they've actually buffed the earnings on it for both XP and silver, and now it's available on all platforms for the first time. It's pretty much just a Panzer IV with the 75mm fully upgraded. This would be in the later seasons of Girls on Panzer, or was it the movie? I can't remember offhand, but this is what's known as the Ori Special, if I remember correctly. Personally, for those that don't like the anime, just check it out. Honestly, if you have problems with anime, there's no reason why you shouldn't at least check it out and actually look at it, because I kind of laugh at all the comments I see on the forums with people literally just trying to, like, give this anime, like, treating it like pornographic material, and it's not. It really isn't. In fact, it's probably the closest thing to World of Tanks that we have in anime form. I mean, really, all it is essentially treating tank combat like a girls' high school sport, which we're playing a game that's literally just sport in taking out our tanks. You guys have problems with that, you guys have problems with that. You have your own opinion, but personally, if you like the Panzer IV and you want a premium version of it that you don't want to have to worry about just maintaining the regular version of it, here's a premium version. You can earn some extra silver. If you don't want it, don't get it. That simple. Okay. Oh yeah, one of the bundles that they're bundling with is with the Kaiju OI. One thing that I do wish that they would do with the Girls on Panzer is, since the Ori High School, which is the school that maintains this particular version, it really should be a Japanese tank or a Japanese crew trainer as well as a German crew trainer. But since this came out well before they started really doing that type of stuff on console, I think they just decided to make it that way and keep it that way just to keep it simple. But I really would like them to actually go back and either change the nationality of it, or since they already made it a German and it's been kind of entrenched there, they should make it a dual trainer. But I can only, suggest things, and that's about it. But the loaded bundle is not bad. The ultimate bundle, I think, is a little bit pricey for what you're getting out of it. It really shouldn't be that much. But I will say this. I actually have a petition on the forums going right now, and hopefully we will get some ground on this, but I am pushing for a base bundle for this tank, because I don't really believe I don't think it's really worth the current price it is. And I feel that it really needs to be cheaper. From what I heard, is the whole reason why this thing came out the way it did in the first place was because it was actually a Asian server push, and the Chicago offices decided, hey, can we use this too, and expanded it to all platforms. But I think that since the Asian offices were the ones that set the price, that they didn't make a base bundle for it and didn't feel the need to put one in there. So as I've said, I put a petition in the forums. Go ahead, go to the poll and sign it. Do what we can to try to get a base bundle on here, but I doubt we will see it anytime soon. I mean, it's only until May 12th, and I don't know if they're going to add one before then. I can push for it, and all you guys can push for it, but I don't know if it's going to happen. But it does mean we might see it later on. That's all we can do is petition. We don't control the stores, no matter how much we would like to. Alright. So that pretty much covers all of that tank. Moving on. Oh, that need to actually be on my computer screen, not on my capture. Okay. Sorry, this is being a long video because there's a lot to cover, and since I didn't get it in earlier in the week, it got longer. So I do apologize for the long video. Okay, now we're doing the Earn Up American Dream Machines. Now, what I've seen so far on this is basically it runs like all the other Earn Ops have, where you can earn a certain amount of points depending on what it is. I'm pretty sure the way it works out is you get essentially 2 points for top XP earner, 2 points for being in the top 3, and 1 point for being in the top 5. That's where you get your 5 points, 3 points, and 1 point for how you guys do. I could be wrong. They might actually do it better, where if you're the top XP earner, you would actually earn 9, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be just 5, 3, and 1. Ugh. And from the way I've seen this being talked about, it looks like the way that this works is you have a base op, which is where you earn your points, and then by playing one of like 10 links, you can spend the points you have earned to actually get the prizes. I mean, I could be wrong, it might be done a different way, but that's what it appears to be. And for right now, they have 10 drops listed, starting with boosts for a low number of points, and then once you hit 225 points, you can start earning a tank for every one you do. So 225, you get the M22 Locust, or if you already own the Locust, you get 3,600,000 silver. Which, if you don't have the Locust, I mean, that's a good little tier 3. It's fun. Then you get 7 days of premium, ×6 crew boosts, 5 of them, which is actually not bad, for 350. Then for 500, you get the M4A2E4 Ripper, which, hey, you get the A2E4 for free, essentially, for 500 points, which is also being featured in Pain God's Picks. Hey, you can earn the tank for free, or you can play it, play for it. Your way to go. Play for it. Pay for it, Brian. Pay for it. Sorry, guys. For Drop Hotel, which is 650 points, you can earn the Lycan T71. Pretty solid tier 7 light tank. If you like a T71 and want a premium version of it, there you go. Or you can earn 1,680,000 silver, which, that's pretty solid. Then you start going up to the Bulldog for 3.12 million silver, which, honestly, this is actually the one I'm going to be shooting for, even though I already own the Bulldog, because I'm just going to shoot there for the silver, because I already own all the tanks in this, because the last prize is the T95E2, which was available, I think it was only available on the Founders Pack for Xbox One and PS4. I could be wrong on that, though. But that's the last time I remember it being sold that wasn't part of a mega bundle, which I could be wrong. But, yeah. And that one's only worth 3 million silver. So technically, the Brazilian Bulldog is worth more silver than the T95E2. So I'm shooting for India drops, which I may or may not get enough of them, because apparently you can do all of these multiple times. So since you can do multiple times, I'm obviously shooting for that one, and then however many extra points I get before the end of the month, I can pick up something else. So that's basically what I'm doing for it. But you don't need to play any specific vehicle, right? Yeah, all nations and vehicles tier 3 or higher. So it's just, hey, have fun playing for the month and earn free stuff. I don't see anything wrong with that. And then they have a whole bunch of American Tech Tree discounts for the early part of the month, which, hey, it's discounts on American vehicles. That's good. And then they have destroying destroying tanks in U.S. vehicles for a Patriot medal, though I'm not a medal collector, so I don't really care about that. And then for store bundles, they have all the mega packages. Yay! Can you guys hear the sarcasm boiling up here? And I really don't understand why the Boilermaker is here. Why is there a Boilermaker here besides it being a Sherman? It's a Firefly. Why is it here? It shouldn't be here. It's British. Oh well. But yeah, if you guys like mega bundles, there's your mega bundles. Yay. Alright. Okay. For Project Valor, they have a wonderful article for all of Project Valor and all that fun stuff, including the crest and the emblem that they're going to be oh, okay. So apparently they're going to be releasing multiple emblems for throughout the year for donations. Okay, that's kind of cool. Where if you get all 4 of the emblems, you can get a crest at the end of the year. Interesting. Interesting. But, as long as it's, donating towards a good cause, if you guys want to do it, go ahead. If not, donate directly to whatever charity you want to actually donate to. It's charity. There's plenty of them out there. Go right ahead. Have fun. Okay. Close that and close that. And finally, Update 3.7 got announced this morning. Yeah. Co-op Assault is what they're calling this one. Because they are adding a co-op PvE mode. I like the idea. And I just hope that the earnings that you can make in this are worth it. If it's worth it, it'll be a fun little mode, especially if you want to just cool off, have some fun and tanking, and not have to worry about teams or any of that type of crap. And then you can just have fun with a friend and chill and play. Especially if you're like showing a friend how to play early on, and you actually want to like show them little things here and there. I like the idea. And apparently the AI will, your AI allies will actually listen to you. May be a little bit better than some of the teammates that you may see in regular random battles. Funny enough. Alright. They have a whole bunch of FAQs. Team human players can play. You can play solo. You can play random. Enemy tiers will be based on the highest tier tank on your team. So obviously, if you are going to co-op with somebody, know which tier you guys are going to be picking, and that should be pretty close to what you're facing in the game. You will earn silver and XP, but you'll earn more playing standard multiplayer battles, which makes sense. I'm just hoping, like I said, it is worthwhile. Because if you're just losing massive amounts of silver and you're, trying to play, it's not going to be worth it. And it would be a whole waste of time if you're not making any silver at all. So you really should make some silver. Especially if you're playing like in a premium tank, and with all those bonuses you should get something. But you should be able to earn silver in normal tanks too. If you don't, well, obviously they'll have to make changes because you really need to for that type of thing. New and returning battlefields, Windstorm and Port. I've seen Windstorm. It looks fun. I'm hoping it looks the same-ish on console. So we'll see what happens. Looks like a pretty good city map from what it looks like. And then Port Daytime is finally making its return. I have not seen... Oh God, when was the last time we've seen Port Day? Port Summer. Oh God. I think that was 360 days was the last time we've seen Port Summer. Because I know it's been Port Snow for a very long time as a winter map. because they were lacking winter maps at the time, so they made it port a winter map. Oh, yeah, that's been a while. Plus, I don't know if you guys have played Port recently, but I do like the changes that they've made to severely cut down on the railroad tracks, and they added a whole bunch of warehouses in the middle of the map. I honestly think that's actually been a cool thing. Like, this whole area normally used to be railroad tracks, and now you just got a whole bunch of warehouses here instead. It makes it a little bit more fun, I think, instead of having to do the rocking over the tracks. Okay, and they're adding some weather variants to Thepio Ridge and Ghost Town, which, yeah, you can do that because they haven't had any weather variants, so it'd be nice. Except apparently these are set in foggy thunderstorms which reduce video and view rate. Okay, so they're basically making it an extreme weather map. Interesting. I don't think you really need to do that on Ghost Town, but because Ghost Town's a rather small map to begin with. It's kind of like the Himmelsdorf Blizzard, where, yeah, they added that, but is it really needed? I mean, it's already pretty, heavy cover and a lot of solid ground to cover. So, I don't know about that. Try not to yawn into the microphone. I apologize. Now, Thepio, that would make it rather interesting because that's a huge map. And taking that huge map and reducing the view and radio range will really make keeping your team together with you on those maps key. Because otherwise, you are going to have a real tough time. Actually, that would make a few areas really playable, since some of the longer sniping lanes will basically be cut in half. So yeah, that could be fun. Whole bunch of new achievements. I'm not going to do achievement reviews. There's just no reason for it. And here's the actual patch notes on it. Proving rounds, support. I'm not going to actually read through all the patch notes. I mean, I don't think I need to worry about that, because I can just point you guys out to that, so I'm not going to worry about that. But overall this month, it looks fairly good. I don't see any major events besides the American Earning event, but I'm sure we'll see something later on. They tend to bring something up, even if it's not huge. But I think it looks good so far. I think it looks pretty promising. So thank you guys for hanging around for this rather long update video. And I hope you guys have a good time. I don't know, I'll get to my next one, but it's like 8 p.m. right now. My sleep schedule has been completely screwed up for being sick, so you guys all have a good time. I'm out of here. Have a good day.